Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nick with the 1994 Candle Co. and today we are actually going to be doing another episode in our Wax Wars series. I started this series over a year ago and haven't updated it really since because there's just been too many other ideas and videos that I've had going on, and to be honest, videos where I'm actually like making candles are just a lot more difficult because of timing and just all that, and there's a lot more that goes into it and stuff, and so it's just a little difficult sometimes to get to these videos. But we're finally back with the next one in this series, and so for this episode I'm actually going to be comparing Soy 10 to 6006, which is the wax that I predominantly use. And I'm also excited because I've been wanting to try out different blends and stuff like that, like blending 6006 and Soy 10 for instance, to try and maybe see if 6006 will be better with sinkholes and things like that, because that is the number one thing that I hate about this wax. It just sinkhole city every single candle. I have to heat gun every single one, and like, don't get me wrong, the cold throw and hot throw make it worth it, but it gets really old, and so I would really like to, if I can, maybe find a blend or something like that that will help those sinkholes hopefully, and yeah, help me to not have to heat gun every single candle. But so for this week's video, we're just going to be making the candles. I'm going to be showing you exactly step by step how I'm doing that and everything, and then in next week's video after that I will be comparing things like the cold throw, the hot throw, the glass adhesion, any kind of, sinkhole type things, just stuff like that. So with that, let's get started. Alright, so we've got our vessels over here. We are using two different Aura vessels. They are both see-through. This one's a little bit darker and harder to see, but that way I'll be able to differentiate which wax I used in which one, and also that way we can see any jar adhesion issues or things like that. And then I've got my bag of Soy 10 over here. We've got our wicks, our fragrance, which is going to be Lily of the Valley from Candle Science, our thermometer, stirring utensil, our scale, pouring pitcher, and then our wick centers and wick stabilizers, and then got my double boiler going already, and then the 6006 is over here. So right off the bat, I am going to mention Soy 10 does feel similar to 6006, but I would say that it's almost slightly harder than 6006. 6006 has like almost just like a little bit more sliminess to it, which I don't love. I don't always love, touching it and stuff. And this wax, like, I mean, I do still feel it on my hands or whatever, like even, taking my hands off of it and stuff, but not nearly as much as I do with 6006. Just like 6006, Soy 10 is a soy and paraffin blend. However, there's much less paraffin in Soy 10 than there is in 6006. I think there's only like 5% or less of paraffin in it, and so yeah, it does have quite a bit less paraffin in it. It's much more soy, but it's still, from what I've heard, gets amazing hot throw. So I'm going to start by adding the Soy 10. I'm going to cut up about 11 ounces of Soy 10. Okay, it's about 11 ounces, or 11.08 ounces, so that's close enough. And we're gonna go ahead and put that right over here into our double boiler. Hopefully it doesn't fall over. Real fast, before we get to this next part of the video, it would mean so much to me if you'd give this video a thumbs up if you are finding some value in it, as well as subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so that we can keep hanging out. And then while that's melting, I am going to go ahead and clean and wick these jars. So I just put a little bit of alcohol on a paper towel, and then we're just going to wipe this out. This jar did get pretty dusty just because it's been sitting in my candle studio for a little bit. I mean, it's been in a box, but it still has gotten a little dusty just because it's been sitting there for probably like a year or so now. So we're just going to wipe that out really good. And then we're just going to do the same with this jar. I am honestly obsessed with the look of this jar. It's just such a beautiful color, and like the way the iridescent part looks, it's just so cool. This one was slightly damaged, so that was why it just has a few scratches on it. So that's why I chose it to be a tester. And then we're going to add these little wick centers that I get from Design House. These just help to make sure that my wicks are always perfectly centered, which is amazing. And then for wicks today, we are going to be using HTP 83 wicks. I'm going to be using 2 of them for each one. And then we're going to use wick stickers to hold them down. And I forgot to mention that everything that I use today will be linked down in the description box below. If there's anything that I forgot though, please let me know and I'll gladly add it. And then once they are in there, you can just take out that little thing, and then I like to press them down just to make extra sure that they are secure and they're not going to come out or anything like that. And then once you've got your wicks in both of them, I just put these little guys on here. These are specifically for the aura vessels. And again, I get these from Design House. I will leave a link down below like everything else. I'm not affiliated or sponsored or anything by them. They just make really great products and I really enjoy them. Alright, and next up we are going to go ahead and weigh out our fragrance. So I'm just going to place this glass beaker here and then tare that. And then we're just going to weigh out 1.1 ounces of fragrance oil because that's 10% of 11 ounces. You want to weigh out 1.110, we got 1.13. And 1.13 is close enough. Most of that is just going to get stuck to the sides anyway, so it's not a big deal. Alright, and we did get this to right about 200 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm going to go ahead and take that out. And we're just going to let that cool down to about 185, which is about 185, 180, which is about where I usually add my fragrance oil. And then I'm adding my fragrance right around 180. $180 is pretty much just what I have always worked with 6006, and so I'll do the same exact process for 6006 as well. That way we can always just make sure that, you know, there wasn't any other factors I could have changed besides the wax, basically. When it comes to testing out the hot throw and cold throw and things like that. And then I am just going to stir this for roughly about 1.5 to 2 minutes, somewhere around there. Really, you definitely don't need to stir that long. It just, I don't know, I honestly just do it mostly to help cool it down a bit before I pour it, because I find that I get less sinkholes and stuff when I usually pour a little bit cooler. But with 6006, you pretty much always get sinkholes no matter what you do. So honestly, don't know that it helps that much, but we'll try it anyway. And now that I've stirred that fragrance oil in, I'm just going to go ahead and pour the candle. Wow, that looks so pretty with the way that it shimmers off the wax and stuff. That's so cool with this vessel. And now we're basically going to do the same exact thing, but with 6006. So as you guys saw, I just finished up the 6006 candle. I did get as close to possibly as I could with all of everything I did with the soy 10 candle. So I added 1.13 ounces of fragrance oil just in case anyone freaks out about that extra 0.3 ounces of fragrance oil, which literally will not do anything, but I did it just so you would all be happy. And then I did add fragrance oil around 180, just like I did with the soy 10 candle. So I'm gonna go ahead and let these cure for a couple days. I'll probably let them sit for maybe 4 or 5 days. Usually I know with 6006 you definitely only need about 48 hours to let it cure, and it's good to go as far as scent throw and everything. Soy 10 I've heard people definitely test after 48 hours and it's usually good to go too, but I do, because it does have more soy in it and I know that sometimes this can take longer to cure, I do want to give it a few extra days just to be sure. And so be sure to watch out for that video next week as I share my ratings and stuff on the cold throw, hot throw, and everything like that. I will go over jar adhesion and any kind of sinkholes or other issues that may come up during burning and stuff like that. But with that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. If you guys would like to continue hanging out, there's going to be some other videos that pop up on the screen, and I will see you there.